At the beginning of my career, I was stuck working with buyers, working every night and working all weekend showing homes to buyers until 10 p.m. every night. But then everything changed for me when I became a listing agent. In this video, I'm going to share with you and show you exactly how to get listings step by step. If we haven't met yet, my name is Brandon Mulrenin. I'm a real estate coach and I'm committed to helping you become a great listing agent. And if this video provides you any value, I would ask you with much love and respect to subscribe to the channel. So at the beginning of my career, although I did well financially, I actually made a video about my first year in real estate. I'll put a link to that in the description. I was working with a lot of buyers. So I started in real estate. I came first from the mortgage background, the mortgage business. I was a loan officer. So when I became a real estate agent, I got a lot of buyer referrals from all my friends that were loan officers, and they knew I was gonna do a great job. So in the beginning, it was great. I was making a lot of money. I was doing a lot of transactions. All that was fine. The problem was I was stuck working primarily with buyers in the beginning. And I was working a lot, but that didn't last very long because I remember a conversation that my wife and I had. And I was working 7 days a week showing buyers. You know how it is. If you're gonna work with buyers right now, you know how challenging it needs to be because you have to act quickly if you're gonna get a house or an offer accepted for a buyer. Like, you always are on, you're always working, you're always reacting. So I remember a conversation that I had with my wife, and it was very, very intense. It was very serious. I mean, she even said, listen, if you're gonna work like this long term, because remember, as a new real estate agent, I was so hungry to get my business going. And she said, if this is what it's going to be like, then I don't know if this marriage and this family is going to work, because I was working so much. And if you're working with buyers, you know the pain and the frustration that I'm talking about. So this is when I got serious about my schedule, and I hired a coach to get accountability in my life because I had to figure out a way to become a listing agent. I had to get control over my time, and I still wanted to make a lot of money. So fast forward today, now I'm coaching real estate agents just like you all over the country on how to build a listing-based business. So after watching this video, if you want to talk about how my training program works, I'll put a link in the description. Check it out. We can schedule a one-on-one coaching consultation, have a quick conversation, and then you can decide if working with me to help grow your business makes any sense or not. So here's the first thing that I did. I designed a business plan that was focused 100% on building a listing-based business. And here are all my lead sources. And these are still my lead sources to today. Number one is what I call active sellers. So for sale by owners, for rent by owners, and new and old expired listings. These are listing lead sources that have their hand raised. It's the only lead sources that we know that are actively selling their home. The second listing lead source in my business, still to this day, is picking a specific niche. Now, there's 3 niches that I focus on primarily in my business: absentee owners, divorce, and seniors. And I'll break down exactly how I work each one of these lead sources in just a second. The third pillar of my business is what I call referral partners. So because I specialize in divorce real estate and I specialize in working with seniors, I went out there and started building referral partners with divorce attorneys and assisted living facilities. And then the fourth pillar on how I got listings and how I recommend you get listings is I wanted to figure out, how do I get more referrals and how do I get more people in my sphere of influence to want to do business with me? So I started making tons of video content. So let me break down each one of these lead sources so that you can put all of these practices into your business. You can follow along under each lead generation strategy and how I work each listing lead pillar. So let's start off with my first lead pillar, which are for sale by owners, new and old expired listings. My first goal when going after active sellers is to be the first voice and get face to face as quickly as I possibly can. You see, other coaches and real estate trainers are teaching you to try to list the property over the phone. Well, if you've been prospecting, you know how difficult it is to get people and prospects and strangers to open up on that first call. So what I focus on is within my first contact is what can I do? What can I say? How can I position this phone call that gets me face to face with the seller as quickly as possible? So I'll link to my entire script book in the description beneath this video so that you can download all of my scripts so you can see exactly what I say to these specific lead sources to get the face-to-face appointment in the first place. So the first thing that I do, starting off at 8 a.m., is I call all of the fresh expired listings. Then at 8:30, I call all of the fresh for sale by owners. And I'm trying to set as many face-to-face appointments as I possibly can using my scripts. Now, the next thing that I do is I send a video text message to all of the FSBOs, all of the new expired listings that I was not able to get on the phone. It's a simple video text that I send. I'm just asking them if they're open to looking at some other options. I'm asking them if they're open to looking at some other ideas as a backup strategy long term. This gets the FSBO, this gets the expired to just respond to the text, because all I'm trying to do is lead them to a phone call to set that face-to-face appointment. Next, if I don't get them on the phone, they don't respond to my text, after my morning prospecting call block, I will then door knock the fresh for sale by owners and the fresh expired listings, because again, my goal is to get face-to-face with the active seller leads as quickly as possible. Now, the next step in my process and what I do to this very day is I focus on getting that face-to-face preview appointment. And here's what I do on that face-to-face preview appointment. It breaks down into 5 parts. Number 1, I'm gonna go and simply do a home tour. During that home tour, I'm gonna take notes. I'm gonna start building that relationship. I'm gonna start asking questions about the seller's motivation. I'm gonna get to know the seller, to break down the barriers, to lower their defenses. Then I'm gonna share all of my notes with the homeowner that I took about the property. So regardless if it's a for sale by owner or an expired listing, I'm gonna share detailed feedback about the property, providing value to the homeowner. Next, if it's a for sale by owner, I'm gonna review their Zillow ad. I'm gonna look at the Zillow ad with them. I'm gonna bring it to the appointment. And I'm gonna share or point out anything that I think that they could be doing better that's going to serve the consumer, because we know when you use the law of reciprocity, the more you give, the more you get. Next, I'm gonna do what we call our CMA presentation. This is something that I teach all of my students, to position yourself as a market expert, to show the market stats in a way to the seller that positions you not only as the expert, but it positions you to actually get the listing. And then the next thing that I do is I position myself as the seller's backup strategy. So whatever they're doing or whatever they've tried before that may or may not be working today, is I position myself as a hypothetical backup plan for the future. Because here's what I know. The more I can talk about a hypothetical situation, not putting the prospect on the spot right here, right now, the more open they are to being more comfortable telling me about their plans and what they'd be open to, what they're not open to. And this is where I identify the lead quality and how then I'm going to follow up long term. Now, step 3 in my process on how I get listings and how I recommend you get listings, you have to realize and make peace with the fact that 70 to 80% of your listings and your listing appointments are going to come from lead follow-up. Now, I know we all want results. We want them now. And we have a massive addiction to instant gratification. I get it. That's me too. I want results now. I don't want to, wait a long time to get paid for my results. However, that's not the case in real estate. So you have to have a follow-up system. Here's mine. Every Monday, I'm calling every expired listing, every for sale by owner that I've either met with or that I've generated an opportunity via a phone call or a prospecting phone call. I'm gonna call and follow up every single Monday. Every Wednesday, I'm gonna send them an email with all of the active, pending and sold data right in their neighborhood, giving them the data that they want, helping me to stay top of mind. Every Friday, I'm gonna send a text message to continue to stay top of mind, and I want the seller to engage with me over the weekend, and then I send a piece of direct mail to these seller leads every single week using an automated direct mail system called Mailbox Power. I link that in the description below. Through your follow-up is where you're gonna, again, set all of your listing appointments. Matter of fact, probably 70, 80% or more of your listing opportunities are gonna come through this follow-up system. And so I linked below in the description, you can watch me do an entire listing presentation. So as I'm following up with the prospect, as I'm staying top of mind, I believe the follow-up is the beginning of the interview process. This is where the seller gets to see you in action. They get to experience what it would be like working with you once they hire you. So the follow-up is key to getting listings. Okay, so the next lead source that I work very, very heavily are absentee owners and for rent by owners. These are simply homeowners that have a rental property that are looking to sell the home. And so I just use a very, very simple call script. Again, you can grab my script book down below, but it's very, very simple. You have to realize that there's a large portion of these homeowners that are wanting to sell their homes right now. Why? Well, with home prices being so high and restrictions on landlords and evictions being so high, the motivation for a lot of absentee owners or people renting out, maybe they've got one rental home, maybe they've got two rental homes, they can cash out now. They can make a lot of money on their investment. You're gonna start to see, matter of fact, a large portion of these property owners selling their properties in 2021, 2022, 2023, as the market stays high. You're gonna see a lot of these people sell their homes. Now here's the simple script. I'm simply gonna call them. I'm gonna say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, with home prices being so high right now and your property being worth so much and there's no inventory, buyers are willing to pay whatever they can to get a property like yours. I'm curious if you would be open to the idea of selling the property this year. And lots of those people using that very simple script, they're actually open to that. I actually made a video of me calling absentee owner for 30 minutes. You can watch me. I think in 30 minutes, I got 5 listing lead opportunities. I'll link to that video beneath this video. Check that out so you can see exactly how that conversation sounds. So once I get the absentee owner to say, yeah, Brandon, we'd be open to the idea of selling. What do you think you could sell my house for? Or what do you think the home is worth? Well, that leads us directly into our next step in this process, which is doing a quick CMA. You're not gonna do a crazy detailed CMA working these leads because you haven't seen the property. You're gonna do a quick CMA. You're gonna email that CMA to the seller. Maybe you jump on a quick Zoom. You walk them through the numbers, you walk them through the analysis, and at that point in time is where you're going to find out, do I have a listing opportunity here or not? If the numbers make sense and the seller says, wow, yeah, if I can sell my house for that, we would absolutely be open to selling it once the tenant moves out or once the lease is up. And that's what you're gonna do next. As soon as you find out when is that lease up, you're then gonna put them into what I call my seller nurture follow-up campaign. So we talked about my active seller follow-up campaign. This is for seller nurtures. These are for sellers that are thinking about selling sometime in the future. So I still send them a weekly email with all of the active, pending, and sold data right in their neighborhood every single week because I want them to see what's happening with the real estate market every single week between right now and the time that their tenant moves out of the home. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna follow up with this seller, not weekly this time, I'm gonna follow up with them monthly. I'm gonna follow up with them, I'm gonna call them on the first Monday of every single month. And I'm gonna make sure that they're still on track, they're still motivated, they still are looking to sell the home because things may change. Sometimes tenants move out earlier and I don't wanna lose out on an opportunity. The next thing that I do is all of my absentee owner, all of my seller nurtures get a monthly letter. And the letter is very simple. This is the same letter I send to my Sphere of Influence database. I'm just giving them an update with me. Something's going on in my life personal. I'm giving the update on the monthly real estate stats. And then there's a simple call to action at the bottom of the letter, asking them to reach out to me if they need anything, if they're ready to sell, or if they need a valuation of their home. Then once their lease is up, so if I've been following up for 4 months, let's call it, at the end of that 4 months, because I've been doing everything that I just walked you through, then I get an opportunity to interview for the actual listing once their tenant moves out. And a lot of these landlords, a lot of these absentee owners, by the time their tenant moves out, and I've been doing all of this follow-up, the listing is pretty much mine. The interview process is very, very simple. I do an updated CMA. This is where we're meeting at the property for the first time. But because we have this relationship, they're pretty much all come list me calls. Now, the next lead pillar are divorce attorneys. So you will be shocked at how many divorce attorneys don't have a real estate agent that they partner with. Why? Well, most real estate agents that you know, maybe even you too, when's the last time you heard of a real estate agent specializing in divorce real estate? But it only makes sense. Think about this. When you think about people going through the divorce, if you don't know, 80% or more divorces end up with the couple, the divorcing couple, selling the marital home, resulting in many times in 3 transactions. We sell the home that they had together, and then each divorcing spouse has to buy a new home. So with divorces, the divorce rates actually going up. They don't stop. This is a niche that's, unfortunately, it's the reality of our society. But because there's so many divorces happening, these divorce real estate agents need a great real estate agent who knows what they're doing when it comes to divorce real estate to partner with. So as I was building my career, and now I've got 3 or 4 really, really good divorce attorneys who are sending me listings on a consistent basis. They know I'm going to take care of their client. They have to get the property sold to close the case, right? That's the key thing here. A divorce real estate attorney doesn't want a real estate agent partner. They need a real estate agent partner. They have to have a real estate agent that they work with in their practice in order for them to get paid. So if you can be a high-level professional and you can show them that you're an expert, you can go out there and partner with 3, 4, 5 divorce attorneys and never have to worry about listings again. The next lead source that I use to grow my business is partnering with assisted living facilities. You've probably noticed that on every block in every city, regardless of where you live in the country, there are assisted living facilities popping up everywhere because we've never seen a bigger transfer of wealth. The baby boomers and their parents right now, most of them are transitioning out of their homes into some type of an assisted living. We've never seen this big of a transfer ever in US history. So it's a great opportunity for you to go out there and serve the senior community. They need a lot of help. Let me tell you, it's a great niche. And so if you go and position yourself as an expert with sales managers at these assisted living facilities, here's what you're gonna find. The sales managers at assisted living facilities, their job, their goal, how they make money is getting people into their facility to pay them on a monthly basis, right? That makes sense. Well, their number one objection, their biggest issue with getting new tenants into their facility are having elderly people who have a home to sell. Their family may or may not be around to help them, and they don't have a relationship with a real estate professional. And so you can position yourself to offer up your services to the assisted living manager to offer to their prospects. So the next time they sit down with a prospect who says, "Oh, we'd love to move in here, but we've got to sell our home in order to pay for our stay," they can say, "Well, I've got a great real estate agent who we partner with. They've got a great system and a great service that can help not only get your property sold, but they can help you move. They can help you get your property updated. They can help you do an estate sale. They can help you pack all of your clothes." And that's exactly what I've done. I've created a program and a system that I offer up to assisted living managers to offer to their clients as an extension of their service. This way, I'm getting consistent inbound listing lead opportunities. Now, when it comes to working my sphere of influence, this is where content is king. You have to be making video content using social media to stay top of mind if you want your sphere of influence to do business with you. If you want your sphere of influence to refer you to clients and their friends and their family, you've got to stay top of mind. Well, how do you do that? Well, you can simply start to make video content like this, publishing that on your Facebook, on your Instagram, on your LinkedIn, through your email database, so you're constantly staying top of mind. Well, that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I've done over the past 5, 6, 7 years to stay top of mind. And my sphere of influence continues to use me as their real estate agent. They continue to refer me to people that they know. Why? Because when it comes to real estate, all they think about is me. So I know I went through a lot of information. So if you want help putting all of this together and you want to build a listing-based business, I would encourage you to click the link below in this description so that we can jump on a call so you can learn about my lifetime coaching mentorship program. I'll walk you through exactly how it works. We'll break down how it actually works, and then you can decide after our conversation whether or not it makes sense for us to start working together. I hope to hear from you soon. I hope you got value from today's video, and I'll talk to you very soon.